In this video, we'll learn to create this volume bar using variables to increase and decrease the volume. Let's start creating our volume bar. I'll go to the Shape tools, select the rectangle, and create a rectangle with a width of 100 pixels and a height of 10 pixels. I'll change its fill to orange. I'll set the corner radius to 30 pixels. And that's it. Now I'll select this element and with a right click, add an auto layout. Auto layout will add these default paddings. Let's set all these values to 0 and change this frame's name to volume. Now, let's align the element to the left within the auto layout and add a fixed width of 200 pixels. Let's go to the fill option for the auto layout and add the default white color. We'll also change the corner radius to 30 pixels. Okay, we now have our volume bar. Next, let's create our subtraction button, which will decrease the volume, and the addition button, which will increase the volume. I'll select the text tool and type the plus symbol. While holding the Alt key, I'll duplicate this element and type the minus symbol for our button. To make positioning easier, I'll select the first option and flatten this text. So I'll select this flatten option here. And the width, first, let's activate this lock icon and set a width of 20 pixels for now. We'll do the same for the minus button for this minus text. So select flatten and activate the lock and set it to 20 pixels. Now, I'll select this first element, add an auto layout. I'll right-click and add the auto layout. I'll keep these paddings, but I'll select this center option and set a fixed size of 40 pixels by 40 pixels for the height. I'll also change the border to 30 pixels and the fill. I'll apply the same orange we used for our volume bar. And we'll do the same here for our button to decrease the volume. So I'll add an auto layout, set a fixed size of 40 pixels by 40, center it, add an orange fill, and apply a corner radius of 30 pixels. Okay, just for this subtraction option, I'll make it a bit smaller since it looks a little disproportional. So I'll set it, let me think, to 15 pixels. I'll select this frame again. It didn't apply the fixed size, so I'll type 40 pixels here again. Okay, let's change the name of this frame to subtraction button and the other one to addition button. Okay, let's position the plus button on the right and the subtraction button on the left. I'll select all the elements and add an auto layout. I'll set the spacing between elements to 10 pixels. Now we have our volume bar with the increase and decrease buttons. Next, we'll start prototyping and make this increase and decrease volume functional. I'll click outside our elements, go to the local variables option, and add a variable. 4 variable options will appear. We'll use the number variable. So let's click it and change the name to volume. I'll set the default value to 40 pixels for now. Okay, now let's apply this 40 pixel value, which will be our variable, by selecting the volume bar, just the colored part, and we'll change its size and width using this arrow. We'll apply the variable. So we'll click here and select the volume variable. We can see that it's just changed its size to 40, which is the value of our variable. Now, let's prototype the addition button. Let's select the prototype option. Select our addition button and add an interaction. It will be a click option, so we'll keep that. Let's change the action from none to conditional. This condition structure will appear for us. We'll write our condition to change the size value of this variable. So, let's click here and select our volume variable. Several conditions will appear. The condition we'll use is the less than or equal to condition, which is this last option. And we'll add the maximum size of our volume bar, which is 200 pixels. Now, let's add an action for when the volume is less than or equal to 200. So I'll select our variable here, and we'll select the addition option. Every time we press the addition button to increase the volume, it will increase the volume bar size by 20 pixels. Okay, so that's it. I'll create a frame for us to test with. Now, when we click the addition button, it increases by 20 pixels with each click. Now we'll do the same logic here for the subtraction button to decrease the volume. Let's go back to our element, and we'll select our subtraction button in prototype. We'll add an interaction. We'll keep the click option and change none to conditional. This structure will appear again. We'll write our condition here. So let's select the volume variable, and if it's greater than or equal to, we'll click this option here. To 0, it will perform an action. Now, let's create our action here. We'll set our volume variable and select the subtraction option. Every time we click the decrease volume button, it will decrease the size by 20 pixels. So now, let's test it again. Now, when we click to increase the volume, it increases, and when we click the decrease volume button, it also decreases by 20 pixels. One important detail is that I just noticed this small error. So, to fix it, I'll go back to the Design tab, select the volume bar, and select this Clip Content option, which will only show us what's inside this white area. So, let's go back to the prototype. We can see that it now only keeps what's inside. So, that was our first video using variables. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel to receive the next videos. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.